capital of the world, Starday Records presents WSM's Grand Ole Opry star and the pride of Grinder Switch, Cousin Minnie Pearl.
Proud to be here. Well, sir, this is just a real pleasure to be here. You know, I've been scared every time I've ever come up here to Nashville, Tennessee from Grinder Switch. 22 years ago, I was scared when I come up here. I was scared something would happen to me. Now I'm scared it won't. Most generally, it don't. No, there was a handsome man out there. Now, don't give me that stuff. There was a handsome man out there. Yes, sir, and I walked a little faster, and he walked a little faster, and I walked a little faster, and he walked a little faster. I'd have caught him if a fire truck had gotten away. No, I turned around, I said to him, I said, didn't you kind of give me a funny look? He said, lady, you've got a funny look, but I didn't give it to you. I can't help the way I look. When they passed around looks, I thought they said books, and I said, give me a funny one. I can stand almost anything, though, except the other night a feller said something to me that was real hard to take. He said I looked like I'd washed my face real good and forgot to iron it. That really hurt. Well, I got all excited one night. A feller told me that I looked like a breath of spring, and you know that always sounds good. Well, he didn't use them words. He said I looked like the end of a hard winter. Well, I'll tell you. There's just one thing I've got to say. I ain't two-faced, or I'd have wore the other one tonight. But I had everything all straightened out. I was going to bring Uncle Nabob tonight. Bless his old soul. He don't ever get to go nowhere much. Uncle Nabob, he's the finest old fella you ever seen. He don't ever do much. He ain't a failure. He really ain't. He ain't a failure. He just started at the bottom, and he likes it there. Uncle Nabob, he's got a kind of a bad habit of dipping into the corn squeezings, you know. He says he just takes a little nip every once in a while to kind of steady his nerves, you know. He gets pretty steady. Sometimes he don't move at all. The other night, Aunt Ambrosia decided she'd really fix him. And she knowed he's going to be out late, you know. So she got one of them false faces like the young'uns wear at Halloween, you know. She didn't really need it, all our family favors. But she got this false face, and she put it on, and she hid out there by the bushes where she knowed Uncle Nabob was coming by. And sure enough, long about midnight, old Uncle Nabob come a-weaving in there, you know. He wasn't fixing no watches. And he come in there, and he come up by that bush, and she had a sheet all up over and that false face on, and she jumped out at him, and she said, boo, I'm the devil. Uncle Nabob said, well, shake hands with me. I married your sister. Gets out of the hospital. But Uncle Nabob come up here last summer with me and sister. We was doing a little shopping here in Nashville, and we come up to one of them department stores here, you know. And we come in there, and there was a sales lady was showing sister some clothes. And she says, you see, you have this little dress here, and you take off this little bolero here, and you have a sunsuit. And then you take off this little skirt here, and you have a bathing suit. And Uncle Nabob said, yeah, you take off anymore, and you got a lawsuit. But Uncle Nabob, we had the best time here a while back. I brung him in here to Nashville with me. We was going to the Grand Ole Opry, and that afternoon, well, Uncle Nabob said he thought he'd go to the picture show. Well, I said, okay, go on to the picture show. But he stayed so long, like to never come out. So I went down there to find out about him, and I went in that theater down there, and I'm telling you the truth, that old man's just sitting there. And I said, Uncle Nabob, how many times have you saw this show? He said, oh, about 3 times. I said, well, what do you look at it so many times for? He said, girl, there's a place in this here movie where there's some girls out there, and they're getting ready to go in swimming. And just as they start to take all of their clothes off, there's a freight train goes through there. He says, I've stayed through here 3 times. I'm still hoping sometime or other that freight train's gonna be late. Uncle Nabob come up here a couple of weeks ago. He come up here with me and Aunt Ambrose, and we was walking down the main road here in Nashville, and this pretty girl went by, and Uncle Nabob kind of rolled his eyes at her, and Aunt Ambrose jerked him around. She said, what do you mean? You old married man are looking at that pretty girl. Uncle Nabob said, now, just because I'm on a diet don't mean I can't look at the menu. Getting married is a whole lot like getting in a tub of hot water. After you get used to it, it ain't so hot. He says marriage is a whole lot like a boxing match. Sometimes the preliminaries is better than the main bout. There's a whole lot happening at Grinder's Switch, believe me. I'd love to take all of you down there. Like last 4th of July. Oh, that was the greatest time. I never will forget that. Uncle Nabob and all the fellers was talking about how it would be to get out in outer space, you know. Uncle Nabob was talking about how to be, you know, to be way, well, he's about as high as he could get, you know. And he was figuring, they got to talking about how it'd be to get off up there with a rocket, you know. And Uncle Nabob, he said, well, he just believed he'd do something about that. So he went down to Simp Sewell's Fireworks. Well, that's his name. Simp Sewell. He went down to Simp Sewell's Fireworks Department. That's right out on the highway there, Highway 100, going to Grinder Switch. And he got him the biggest rocket he could find. And he brung it back up there at the picnic. And we was all up there. Some of them was picnicking, and I was picnicking. And we got up there, and Uncle Nabob, he tied that rocket onto the back of him, and Brother was going to give the countdown. And so Brother, he got all ready, and he said 4, 3, 2, 1, and he lit the fuse. There was a blinding roar and a flash. And when the smoke cleared away, Uncle Nabob was drilled 4 feet into the ground. He tied the rocket on upside down. You were way ahead of him. Well, you can't do everything right. Last year, along about this time, I had a real exciting time. I went over to Hawaii with Elvis Presley. Elvis is a real good friend of mine, and of course I'm a little too late for Elvis. I'm about, well, I'd say I'm about 30 years and 40 pounds too late. But I still look. It don't do no good, but I look. It's kind of like going down to the depot and watching the trains go by. You love to hear the whistle even if you ain't going nowhere. We went over to Hawaii to do a benefit show over at Pearl Harbor, and we went on a jet airplane. Now, I ride them things, but I don't put my weight down. Boy, you get on one of them jet airplanes, and before you can say you haven't, you have. Don't never start nothing on one of them things you can't finish in a hurry. Just like... Just like Rodley Brassfield Rodley Brassfield, rest his bones, funniest man ever lived in the world. He used to talk about the first time he ever read an elevator. Said he got on there, and they jammed the door shut, and he shot right straight up. Fella running the elevator, seen he looked kind of pale, said, "What's the matter, buddy? Did it scare you?" Rodley said, "No, I always wear my pants down around my ankles." Well, we got over there to Hawaii, and it was real wonderful. Everything, they made us feel so at home. In fact, one fellow said I was the homeliest girl he ever seen. But, no, they were great, really. But I found out that the ladies over there, they wear these muumuus, you know, these dresses that have a kind of a yoke here, and then they just hang straight down, you know. I put on one of them things, and I look like a mama kangaroo with everybody home. My figure's my fortune. I've just got my money invested in the wrong places. I got an hourglass figure, but it's later than you think, you know. Sand has done shifted to the bottom. It's 1:15, no time at all, hardly. But we did find out that they have this beautiful Hawaiian music, and they really do, you know. Every day at noon at the hotel where we stayed, they'd have a kind of a Hawaiian Grand Ole Opry, you know. They'd pick them gourds and play them Hawaiian instruments. And these girls that dance the hula dances, you know. You're just supposed to watch their hands. Well, you are. No, you watch their hands. They tell a story with their hands. You know, they got these beautiful movements that they make, and they tell a story with their hands. I stood around there every day. I never did see no fellas watching their hands. Maybe they wasn't expecting no messages. Or maybe they'd already got the message. I don't know. But I found out how they dance the hula, and I've been practicing back at Grinder Switch, where I come from. Yeah. The way I figure it, the way you dance the hula dances, you tie a bunch of hay around your waist and a bunch of oats around your neck, and then you just rotate the crops. That's the way you do it. Rotate the crops. Boy, I'm telling you, I'd never do it. That's kind of the way you do the twist. You know, I'm real interested in how you do the twist. I tried that one night, and I couldn't stand up, sit down, stoop over, or squat. I think I hit bones in my body I never knowed I had. Where I first seen it, I went out to California to be on the Ernie Ford show, and of course Ernie's one of my very dearest friends, and I love him. And, oh, he's so cute. I wouldn't trade him for a blue-nosed mule. He's the greatest. Well, I went out there, and 3 of the girls that work on his show got me a date with one of them California fellers. Oh, he was so cute. He was so eligible. He was breathing. Well, they've got to be breathing, or I won't move. I won't go out with a feller unless he's breathing. That's all I can say. But he was cute, but he was thin as the thinnest feller I ever seen. If he hadn't had Adam's apple, he wouldn't have any shape at all. But everybody's trying to get thin. Did you ever see anything like it? Miss Lizzie Tinkle at Grinder Switch, she's an old maid. She hasn't never been married or anything. She's trying to get thin and look young, you know. She's fell off and got so thin they have to starch her underwear to hold her up. She's got an old hound dog, took her out in the backyard and buried her 3 times. No she's and oh, she's really trying to look young. She's had her face lifted. She went to a plastered surgeon. And oh, she's really trying to look young. But she called up the fire department the other night. We have a fire department at Grinder Switch. We used to have a bucket brigade. Uncle Nabob was head of the bucket brigade. In fact, he's the biggest bucket head ever come out of Grinder Switch. But now they've got a fire engine, and they've got a big sign on it that says, "May this fire engine be like all the old maids at Grinder Switch, always ready and never called for." But it is a good fire department, sure enough. The other day it was, Steve Jones's barn caught on fire, and ordinarily it burned out by noon, but the fire department kept it burning all day long. Miss Lizzie, take a no. Miss Lizzie Tinkham, she called up the other night, and she said, "Quick! Department, there's a man trying to get in my upstairs window." And the fellow said, "Miss Lizzie, you don't need the fire department. You need the police department." She said, "No, I need the fire department. He needs along the ladder." Well, I'd like to sing another one. I know another one here, fellers. I'd like to sing one called "How to Catch a Man." Smiles at you, what harm can a little flirting do? And if he steals a kiss, well, don't get sore. Remember, honey, you've got plenty more. How to catch a man, how to catch a man. Girls are always asking me, how do you catch a man? Catch him while you can with a mini pearl plan. Here's a little tip on how to catch a man. Hog time. Tell him this and keep a straight face, hun. Tell him two can live cheap as one. Promise him anything and you will find that after you're married you can change your mind. How to catch a man, how to catch a man. Girls are always asking me, how do you catch a man? Catch him while you can with a mini pearl plan. It's better when they play loud. You can't hear me sing. Here's a little tip on how to catch a man. Get a bear trap.